Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob, and in this video we're taking a quick trip to the Battlefield Line Heritage Railway. The railway runs both steam and diesel, but on the day we visited it was a diesel railcar day, and upon arrival we were greeted with a Class 116 and a Class 122, both built in 1958. We decided to let the first service of the day head off without us so that we could explore Shakerstone Station. With the rail cars disappearing round the corner, it was time to explore Shakerstone Station. Inside the station building there's a traditional ticket office, a lovely Victorian tea room, and also the John Jacks Museum, which is rammed full of historic railway artefacts. The walls are lined with plaques, posters, gauges, clocks, uniforms, and beneath them there are cabinets full of lamps, tokens, badges and timetables. If it has something to do with the railway, then it's probably in here. They've also got a particularly large collection of signalling equipment. At the end of platform 1 there's a small shop in a railway carriage, and on the day we visited at the other end was a stall selling sweets and fudge. We crossed over the tracks onto platform 2 to admire the rake of parked up Mark 1 coaches. It's also on this side of the station that you can find another shop that sells various railway related items, including toys and models. By the time we'd finished exploring the station and had grabbed a coffee, the rail cars were pulling back in. And whilst the units were standing at the platform, I took the opportunity to check out the cabs and the interiors. This is the cab of the Class 116 driving motor brake second. The Class 116 were part of the British Railways modernisation plan, intended to replace steam trains and reduce costs. They were built at Derby Works and 108 three-car sets were produced in total. They were designed as short-distance, high-capacity services, originally intended to serve the Birmingham area, but many found their way into South Wales. Moving on to the Class 122, these double-ended driving motor vehicles were nicknamed bubble cars. These units were built primarily for the British Rail London Midland region, but some were used up in Scotland and some units down in Cornwall. Both units had clearly been restored to a high standard with fresh seating, but they both retained that original 1950s, 1960s feel. It was soon time to depart and head south down the last remaining part of the former Ashby and Nuneaton Joint Railway. We saw the driver take the token from the signalman, and after passing through a temporary speed restriction we were off. You can see why these units were only used for shorter journeys, because they're pretty noisy and it's quite a bouncy ride. Unbelievably, the top speed of these is 70 miles per hour, but I think that would be quite a terrifying and uncomfortable journey. After a few minutes we were midway down the line at Market Bosworth. We didn't get off here because the station was undergoing redevelopment with the installation of new facilities. The line originally opened in 1873 and operated for almost half a century before passenger services stopped in 1931. Freight carried on for a few more decades along with the odd rail tour before closing to all traffic in the 1960s. The Shakerstone Railway Society moved in to preserve the site in the 1970s and began extending the line in the 1980s. It now runs for 5 miles from Shakerstone via Market Bosworth to Shenton. Shenton Station building is actually the Humberston Road Station building, which was relocated from Leicester and rebuilt brick by brick. Surrounding the station is beautiful Leicestershire countryside, and it's only a short walk from here to the Bosworth Battlefield Heritage Centre. After having a good look around, it was time to head back. And just outside Shakerstone Station, we passed a Class 08 in EWS livery. Arriving back at the platform, we had one last opportunity to admire the 2 DMUs before they were stabled for the evening. As much as I enjoyed riding in them, I don't think they give me the same sense of excitement that seeing a steam loco or a large diesel does, but it really does make you appreciate how much more advanced the DMUs of today are. We were about to leave when the Class 08 appeared again with a Dogfish wagon full of ballast. Built in 1960, the locomotive is privately owned. It was clearly being put to good use maintaining the line, but back in May it had also been used to pull some short passenger trains. We were able to follow it down the line to just outside the station and watch the team operating it prepare to presumably do some ballasting work. Then it really was time to head home, but on the way out there are plenty of other locomotives parked up to admire. So I'll leave you with some shots of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you again soon.